Just put a slight taper on mine. Now I'm just going to take my number 2 cut flat hand file and I'm just going to round it up a little bit just to make it pretty, make it symmetrical. So that as opposed to that. Take your rawhide hammer, go a couple of sizes smaller on your ring mandrel. You can push it around with your fingers. If you textured it a lot, you may have to anneal it again before you can get it to bend properly. I've got this pretty well work hardened, so I'm going to anneal it. But once you get it to the right size, then you can put it on your finger, put your bead in place, mark where you're going to need to drill. So I've pushed the ends slightly closer together, then I'm going to take my flat half-round pliers and I'm going to line the edge up with my pliers and gently push that back to the outside so that it has a nicer shape. Make it symmetrical. Back on your ring mandrel, and you can put your bead in, make sure it fits, and you can mark the hole where you need to drill the metal at this point. And I just put a texture mark on it. Sharpie, permanent marker, whatever you call it. At this point you need to figure what you're going to put inside. So you put this on your ring mandrel, get the area where you're going to drill your hole to match the size of your tubing. And what I did was I drilled a hole in the metal to match the diameter of the wire, and then I punched the discs out. I've used brass, copper, silver. I found a turquoise bead that's the same diameter, so I thought I would include that. So just make sure that your wire, your chenier, goes through all of the pieces. Then you can measure your width to figure out how much of the stuff you want to put in. Now, I've drawn this wire down so that it's 1.1 in diameter, and you can see that there's still the little hole in the end. Now, pre-assemble this, make sure that it's the way you want it, and anneal this little piece of chenier before you do your final assembly, because we're going to use a tapered punch to spread the end a little bit, so this will be a hollow rivet. Now this is where you can be a little bit creative. You can use different metals. You can texture the edges of your disc. You can put saw marks in it. The sky's the limit. You can use offset discs where you drill your holes at a different place rather than in the middle. You can drill them off to the side so that the disc will not all be the same. So have fun with this. Before you do your final assembly, polish this. It can be a satin finish. The edges can be polished, the rest can be satin. Get the ring looking the way you want it to look when it's finally done, because once you assemble this, you won't be able to polish it, or you won't be able to polish it as effectively. So do it now. So this is the stack I've chosen, and you can see there's about 1 millimeter of the tubing sticking out either end. And what we're going to do now is put this on our little bench block, vertical. We'll take our nice sharpened punch, put it in the end, and spread that end. So you can see I've got my punch nice and sharp so that it will fit right in the end of the hole. Yep. It would help if you had an extra person to hold this, but you can do it on your own. Gently tap it. Have a look. You can see that it's starting to spread. Turn it over, do the other side. Gently work back and forth until you have it the way you want it. A little bit at a time, making sure that it stays in the ring and it starts to spread. So there's my little disc ring with my hollow rivet. Just something a little bit different.